The new-look Dallas Cowboys is exactly what the NFL feared. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Dallas Cowboys are looking to change the roster and add a former Commanders serviceable starter. After losing in the wild card round in the 2023-24 playoffs, the Dallas Cowboys entered the offseason with the need to improve. However, it's been a relatively quiet offseason for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Looking to change that, Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report listed them as one of the best fits for former Washington Commanders offensive tackle Charles Leno Jr. No one is going to argue that Charles Leno Jr. is among the NFL's top left tackles. His only Pro Bowl came in 2018, and the Chicago Bears parted with Leno just 2 years later. However, Leno does have extensive experience playing left tackle, recording 141 starts with the Bears and Commanders, Knox wrote on June 1st. He's also been fairly durable, starting 34 games between 2021 and 2022 and 13 games in 2023 before landing on injured reserve with a calf injury. Though he'll turn 33 in October, Leno is still a serviceable starter. The Washington Commanders released Leno in March, saving them $7.28 million in cap space. Entering the offseason, the Commanders were among the teams with the most cap space. They had an impressive offseason, signing Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, Nick Allegretti, and others. However, the loss of Leno does raise questions. Starting in 47 games during his 3 seasons with the Commanders, having Leno could have given them a veteran to protect Jayden Daniels, who the Commanders drafted with the number 2 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. He had hip surgery, which raises questions at 32 years old, but Seth Jones of Rigo's Rag wrote that he's a player the Commanders will miss, and that releasing him is a big gamble. This departure was forced by Adam Peters. Charles Leno Jr. became a salary cap casualty, as those in power wanted to go younger at the left tackle position, Jones wrote in his June 2nd article, exploring 6 players the Commanders will miss. Considering the need to keep rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels' blindside protected, it's a big gamble. Leno was a solid performer and an impressive leadership presence within the locker room. He's not signed elsewhere as yet, but this is down to his recovery from hip surgery more than anything. Once he gets the all-clear to resume football activities, the former 7th-round pick should end up as a key rotational piece or a potential starter in the right system. Pro Football Focus released their top 32 offensive tackle rankings, and the Dallas Cowboys didn't have one player ranked. While Leno wouldn't be ranked either, he'd give the Cowboys a veteran who's proven he can be a starter. At the very least, the former Washington Commanders left tackle could provide them with a solid backup. Leno was graded as an above-average tackle last season, posting an overall grade of 72.5 and a pass-blocking grade of 77.8. He played in 880 snaps, and while he had the 8th most penalties with 10, he also only allowed 3 sacks. The Cowboys are a team with Super Bowl aspirations, and adding another veteran like Leno could help them accomplish that. The Dallas Cowboys are entering a crucial season following a home wild card loss at the hands of the Green Bay Packers last year. Dallas hasn't made many significant upgrades to the team, except for bringing back former running back Ezekiel Elliott. The pressure is on this team to find more success during this window with quarterback Dak Prescott, but so far, the Cowboys have faltered. They still have star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb at the helm, even if he has been dealing with some contract issues. They also have veteran Brandon Cooks, who gives this team a true field spacer with his speed. But for the Cowboys to be successful, they will need another player to step up on the offensive side of the ball. Cooks believes that the player could end up being former 3rd-round draft pick Jalen Tolbert. Tolbert was drafted in the 2022 NFL Draft and has been working his way up the draft chart with his play. The wide receiver has grown into being a more confident player, something that Cooks believes will ultimately help him moving forward. The way that he's able to talk about a route, or the way he's able to tell the quarterback the way he sees things, he's not shy anymore, Cooks said, per Coral Smith of NFL.com. He's able to go up to Dak Prescott and say, "Hey, I seen it this way," and it's awesome to see him grow in that aspect. He's ready to go. Whatever the expectation is for him out there, I'm telling you he's going to crush it. He's ready. The first story is Dallas Cowboys RB taking snaps at new position during OTAs. The Dallas Cowboys have a crowded RB room, and that means a young ball carrier could switch positions ahead of the 2024 season. With the arrival of Royce Freeman and the return of Ezekiel Elliott, Deuce Vaughn's future is a bit more murky. But being able to contribute at slot WR would potentially help his case for a roster spot. Vaughn didn't make much of an impact in 2023, but is open-minded to receiving duties. "It was one of those things that we had kind of talked about at the end of the season last year," Vaughn said. "Talking with just a little bit about getting with the slot, just learning a little bit more about it. Because it's one of the things I did in college and love to do, just adds another value." Vaughn is shifty enough to appeal as a WR, although he is a fairly small target at 5'5". Either way, where the second-year RB spends his time in practice, and the preseason will be something to monitor. While Vaughn figures out his role, the Cowboys are returning Elliott to the fold. After a year with the New England Patriots, Elliott is back in Dallas after a lackluster campaign. For Bleacher Report writer Christopher Knox, signing Elliott was a major miscue. In a May 26th article, Knox explains why he thinks the Cowboys' RB group will struggle in 2024. No one should be particularly excited about Elliott's return. The 28-year-old has lost most of the burst he showcased early in his career and has seen his efficiency dip dramatically over the last 2 years, Knox wrote. He averaged 3.8 yards per carry with Dallas in 2022 and just 3.5 yards per carry last season with the New England Patriots. The Cowboys simply aren't likely to field a quality rushing attack this season, which is a big problem. Elliott's production has waned in recent years, but he will be working with a new group in his return to Dallas. Exactly how big of a role the three-time Pro Bowler will have remains to be seen. Speaking of changes to the running back situation, Dallas still has time to make another addition. Bleacher Report writer Alex Ballentine recently suggested Houston Texans RB Dameon Pierce as a prospective trade, primarily due to the lack of proven ability behind Elliott. "A young running back with a higher ceiling would be a good addition," Ballentine wrote on May 22nd. "Most teams aren't willing to part with those players in a trade. Dameon Pierce might be an exception for the Houston Texans. Pierce had over 100 yards from scrimmage as a rookie, but fell out of favor in his sophomore campaign." The third story is why Trey Lance is an important piece entering 2024 season. The Dallas Cowboys have a bit of an insurance option in quarterback Trey Lance. As the Cowboys wrap up voluntary OTAs, the third-string quarterback continues to garner praise from those around him, including the likes of head coach Mike McCarthy. McCarthy is the most recent to compliment the 24-year-old quarterback, whom the Cowboys acquired in a preseason trade last year in exchange for a fourth-round draft pick. "He was on a learning curve, but now he is starting to get the timing," McCarthy said on Thursday. "He's close to being a master of the system. He has a really high understanding. He just needs as many reps as he can." The former number 3 overall draft pick will compete with longtime backup Cooper Rush to be the primary backup to Dak Prescott this season. And while Lance faces an uphill battle to unseat Rush went 4-1 as starter during the 2022 season with Prescott sidelined, he'll have every opportunity to win the job. Lance's development as he goes through his first off-season workouts and training camp with the Cowboys is something extremely pivotal for the franchise as a whole. It's no secret that Prescott is entering the final year of his deal, and while the Cowboys maintain they want the MVP runner-up back for the long term, there's no guarantee a deal gets done. Not only will Prescott have the leverage of potentially entering a free agency market next offseason that will likely see a team offer him a $50 million a year deal, Kirk Cousins signed a $45 million per year deal. This offseason, he also has the leverage of knowing that the Cowboys don't have any true proven in-house options. The fact that he has no trade and no franchise tag stipulations just give him further leverage. This is where the development of Lance is key. If Lance, who actually won the San Francisco 49ers starting quarterback job prior to injury, can prove adequate and capable of serving as a starter again, the Cowboys have a fallback option in the 24-year-old quarterback. The Cowboys have no quarterbacks under roster for next season, but it shouldn't be too difficult to re-sign Lance if the possibility of winning the starting job for 2025 is on the table. It would be beneficial for Lance considering he would be entering his third season in the system, and he would also be inheriting a Super Bowl-ready team that has won at least 12 games in each of the last 3 seasons. McCarthy isn't the only one who has noticed the strides that Lance has made in his game during OTAs. Prescott himself acknowledged Lance's skill set. He works his off, Prescott told reporters last week.